In this video, I'm going to talk about three things. Number one, Nattai Raga. And number two, Narumugaye Narumugaye song. And number three, how the number one and number two are related to each other and how we can find out the swaras or the notes that are used in this song. Let's look at number one, Nattai Raga. Nattai Raga is one of the most known Carnatic ragas using which a good number of South Indian songs are composed. The swaras or the notes that are used in this raga are Sa, Re3, Ga3, Ma1, Pa, Da3, Ni3 and Sa. It's a little bit difficult to understand what these swaras are and how they are mapped to the guitar. Let's forget about these swaras for a second and let's try to play these notes in the guitar. It's much more easier to understand that way. I'm going to be using the last three strings E, B and G starting from 7th fret to the 11th fret to play these notes. So the first note that I'm going to play here is the G string 7th fret and then followed by the G string 10th fret. Going down a string, which is the B string, I'm going to play 7, 8 and 10. Going down again, the last string, which is the E string, I'm going to play 8, 9 and 10. Putting it all together. Going back in the reverse direction. And this is exactly what is called Nattai Raga. You can take this pattern and you can play anywhere in the guitar and it still holds good. It still is called Nattai Raga. We know how to play Nattai Raga. Let's map these notes to the swaras that I talked about. Sa, Re3, Ga3, Ma1, Pa, Da3, Ni3, Sa. The first note that I played is called as Sa. As a matter of fact, this Sa can be anything. The first root note is always called as Sa in Carnatic. Sa, Re3, Ga3, Ma1, Pa, Da3, Ni3, Sa. And the reverse, which is called as Avarohanam, is Sa, Ni3, Da3, Pa, Ma1, Ga3, Re3, Sa. Let's move on to number two, which is Narumugaye Narumugaye song. I'm going to be breaking this song down into multiple parts. Every part is going to have multiple sections. I'm going to identify the different swaras that are used in these parts and going to brief a little bit about how these notes or the swaras are related to the Nattai Raga notes that we just talked about. And that covers the number 3 of the 3 points that I said that I'll be talking about at the start of this video. Doing this exercise and understanding the swaras and the notes is really important to get that fundamental theoretical understanding about how songs are composed using ragas. Let me start with playing the part 1 and then we can talk about the swaras that are used in this part. And that's part 1. And it has multiple sections. But if you look a little bit closer into the swaras that I played, it's just the 4 swaras. Starting with the B string 7th fret, 8th fret and then the 10th fret and then followed by the E string, the bottommost string, the 10th fret. So what are these swaras? These are Gatri, Mavan, Pa, and then followed by Sa. How do we know that? Because we already covered the swaras that are part of Nattai Raga, and we know that Sa, Ritri, Gatri, Mavan, Pa, Datri, Nitri, Sa. And what did we use for this part? We used only 4 swaras: Gatri, Mavan, Pa, and Sa. Let me play part 2 and then we'll go about identifying the swaras that are used in this part. So that's part 2. What are the notes, the swaras that I played? I played the B string 3rd fret, followed by 10th fret, followed by 8th, and then 7th. And what are these swaras? We very well know about these 3 notes, which is 10, 8, and 7 of the B string, because they are part of Nattai Raga. And we have seen that earlier. It's Gatri, Mavan, Pa. Those are the 3 notes here. And what exactly is the 3rd fret B string, which we have not covered before? Let's identify what that swara is. What we know is the B string 7th fret is Gatri. So let's walk backwards and identify what the 3rd fret of the B string is. So as this is Gatri, the note before Gatri is called Re3, Re2, Re1, Sa. So what is B string 3rd fret? It is Sa. Is Sa part of the Nattai Raga? Yes. But it's just that it is mapped over here instead of here that we looked a little bit before. So the notes that I played was Sa, Pa, Ma, Gatri. Those are the swaras that are used in part 2 of this song. And that concludes part 2. Let me play the part 3 of this song, and then we'll go about identifying the swaras that are used in this part. There are 2 sections in this part. The section that goes from here all the way to here and comes back here, and the second section is about starting from here and going all the way to this fret and coming back to again the 7th fret where we started. Let's look at section 1. Let's identify the swaras that are used in section 1 of this part 3. I'm playing this note, which is the 7th fret, the G string. And what exactly is the swara? We have seen this before. It is part of Nattai Raga and it is called Sa, right? Sa, right? And I moved a fret backward and then I came forward, and then I moved all the way back to the 2nd fret of the G string, and then I came back to the fret where I started, which is the 7th fret of the G string. So what are the swaras that are used in this section? It is Sa, because we know that this note is actually part of Nattai Raga, which we covered before. Sa, Re 3, right? So this note is Sa, and then a fret before Sa is going to be Ni 3. And then the next note that is involved is 2nd fret of the G string. So what exactly is this swara? Sa and Ni 3 are part of Nattai Raga, but how about this one? So let's find out what this swara is. Sa, Ni 3, Da 3, Da 2, Da 1, Pa. Is Pa part of Nattai Raga? Yes, we know that. Pa is part of Nattai Raga. How do we know? Because Gatri, Mavan, Pa. We already know that this Pa is part of Nattai Raga. It's just that this Pa is now being played here out of G string instead of the B string. So the notes or the swaras involved in the section 1 of part 3 are Sa, Ni 3 and Pa. Moving on to section 2 of this part. So what are the swaras that are used in this section? It is Sa, and then the 10th fret of the G string. We know this swara because this is Re 3 and Re3 is part of Nattai Raga, right? What did I do then? I went back a fret. This is Re2. If this is Re3, this is going to be Re2. Is Re2 part of Nattai Raga? No. Even though Re2 is not part of Nattai Raga, it's still used in the song just because it adds more variation and embellishment for the listener. Strictly speaking, the major part of the song is in Nattai Raga, but there are few sections where there are some swaras that are used which are not part of Nattai, but they are still used just because it beautifies the overall presentation of the song. The next part, which is part 4, goes like this. In this part, we had 3 sections, and section 1 and section 2 are almost the same. Only in the section 3 and that too in the end, there was a little bit of variation going all the way to this fret. For the section 1 and section 2, we used the swaras Ga3, Ma1, followed by Da3, Ni3, Sa, and then followed by Pa, Ma1, Ga3. And are these swaras part of Nattai Raga? Yes, they are all part of Nattai Raga. That covers the section 1 and section 2 of this part. Going to section 3, it was like this. So what did we do here? We started from the 10th fret of the E string, which is Sa, and we moved all the way to the 13th fret of the same E string, and then came back to 12th fret, and then again moved forward to 13th fret, and then came back to the 10th fret of the E string. So we know that this is Sa, and what exactly is this note? If this is Sa, this is Re1, this is Re2, and this is going to be Re3. Is Re3 part of Nattai Raga? Yes. How about me moving back a fret here, and then came back here, and then came back here, right? So why is this note used? And what exactly is this note? This note is Re2, so I moved from Re3 to Re2, and then back to Re3, and then came back to Sa. And this is a very typical embellishment or decoration of Nattai Raga. And we have seen this embellishment over here as well in the previous part. Just to reiterate, the swaras that were used in this part were Ga3, Ma1, Da3, Ni3, Sa, Re3, Re2, Re3, Sa. And that concludes the part 4 of the song. Next is part 5. Let me play part 5. In this part, there are totally 4 sections. Section 1 and 3 are one and the same. Section 2 and 4 are slightly different. Let's identify the swaras that are used in this part. There are 2 additional swaras, Da2 and Da1, used in this part, which are typically not part of Nattai Raga, but still they are used. The reason being, again, to add more embellishment and variation to the listener. We started from the E string, 2nd fret, went all the way to the 7th fret, and then 6th fret, and then all the way to the 9th fret. So what are these swaras? We know about the 8th fret of the E string, which is Da3, Ni3, and this one is Sa. So if this is going to be Da3, then this is going to be Da2, and this is Da1. And that's exactly what I was saying just a minute before, that Da2 and Da1 are 2 additional swaras that are used in this part, which are typically not part of Nattai. So if this is Da2 and if this is Da1, then what exactly is this note? The 2nd fret of the E string. Let's walk backwards and identify. This is Da2, this is Da1. So this is going to be Pa, Ma2, Ma1, Ga3. Gatri. Gatri swara is actually part of Nattai Raga, right? So Gatri, go to Da 2, Da 1, Ni 3, Da 2, Da 1. So all these notes in the B string is something that we already know. The only three notes that we don't know before are Da 2, Da 1 and Ga 3. That brings us to the end of section 1 and section 3. Let's look at section 2. Let's identify the swaras in this section. Ga 3, Da 2, Da 1, Ni 3, Da 2, Da 1, Da 2, Da 1, Ma 1, Pa, Ma 1, Ga 3. And section 4 is about it starts with Ga 3, Ni 3, Da 2, Ni 3, Da 2, Da 1, Da 2, Da 1, Ma 1, Pa, Ma 1, Ga 3. And that's section 4 of part 5. This brings us to the end of part 5 of this song. The part 6 of the song goes like this. Let's identify the swaras in this part. We started with the familiar swara Ga 3, Ma 1, then followed by Da 2, and going all the way to Sa, and then Ni 3, and then Sa, and then coming back to Da 2, and then the B string 10th fret, which is Pa, and then followed by Ma 1, and then Ga 3. The second section of this part 6 is, so in this one, the swaras that are used are Ga 3, Ma 1, followed by this new swara. What exactly is this swara? If this is Ga 3, this is Re 3, this is Re 2. And then starting from Sa, go all the way to Ga 3. So for the last section of this part 6 is Ga 3, Ma 1, Re 2, Sa, and then Sa all the way to Ga 3. That brings us to the end of part 6. The last part of the song goes like this. Let's identify the swaras that are used in this part. We started from the G string 7th fret, which we know already. This is Sa. If this is Sa, we went 3 frets back in the G string. So what is this note? If this is Sa, this is Ni 3, this is Da 3, and this is Da 2. So we went from Sa to Da 2, and then followed by the 2nd string, which is the B string, the 3rd fret. So what exactly is this note? We know about this note. This is Sa. We have seen that in the previous parts. And from Sa, we went all the way to Ma 1 because this is Ga 3, so this is going to be Ma 1. So from Sa to Ma 1. And then followed by the last string, which is E string. We started from here and then we went all the way to the 10th. So what exactly is this one? This is Ga 3. So we start from Ga 3 and we go all the way to the 10th fret of the E string, which we know already. This is Sa, and then followed by Ni 3, Sa, and then followed by Da 2. After this, in this last part, we have this section where we do this. This note, the B string of the 10th fret is Pa, Ma and Gatri. Those are the three swaras that we use in this section. Followed by the last section, which is that's going to be Gatri, Ma1, and we know this note, this is Re2. If this is Re2, then this is going to be Sa, because Re2, walking backwards, this is Re1 and this is Sa. And then followed by, again, Gatri, slide until Re2, and then play the Sa note. And that brings us to the end of this video. Just to recap and provide a summary, we looked at three things. Number one, we understood about Nattai Raga and the notes that are used in the Nattai Raga. And number two, we understood about the song Narumugaye Narumugaye. And number three, we identified the swaras that are used in this song and how they are related to the Nattai Raga. Hope this video was really helpful for you folks. Thank you for watching this video.